how they were engrossed with light. Then I came to realize, and not how, it just happened to me, that the whole world is nothing but an optical illusion and an ordinary illusion of light and sound. And when I flipped back on all the scriptures, that's exactly what the enlightened beings were saying, that life is a play of light and sound and not of actuality. And everything fell into place. I didn't do anything. It just happened. Like everything else in life, it just happens. There's just a gestalt, a shift of consciousness from the mind into life.
And how did that change your human side?
The way it changed my human side is, life was the same. It never changed. But then the change which happened was, everything seemed perfect. No matter what man believes, he's perfect. No matter what man says about his mind, he's perfect. That's the degree of understanding which has happened to each one. You follow me? I have only compassion. I don't blame anybody, nor like or dislike. What can he do or what can anybody do? That's how he is. A plant doesn't complain to the next plant, hey, I don't like you, get away. An animal doesn't say to another animal through language, hey, I don't like you, get away. No, it's only man who uses words and languages, and he separates himself from life. He has to realize he is life. Just as how a plant has evolved, just as how animals have evolved, man too evolves. Evolution is just singular. It all happens very intelligently by a play of light and sound.
But doesn't it also come up that the fundamental point is where man sees as his reference point? And it's true, I know from my own experience, if I'm stuck in my meanness and I'm this separate individual and I want to get this and I don't want to experience or feel that, then I'm going to have ongoing battles in my mind. But then, if I'm willing to just relax, this is my own words, and allow something bigger to be there, the little me will get smaller, and there's a more of an interconnectedness somehow. And as I say that, I'm also thinking that it's just, we've had this terrible earthquake in Haiti, and it's very difficult there. People are in a situation where they have no home, their relatives are dead or they're injured, they have no food. It's very difficult to see that life is perfect then.
Okay, I'll take the last part of the question and come back to the first
Yeah.
one. Let me take the first actually.
Okay.
Are you sure that your experience is not an actuality but just a thought in the mind? Number one. Number two, are you very certain, do you have any adequate proof that you instigate the process of thinking, that you can think, or the thoughts just happen to you? You have to come on to that point. The last part of the question about Haiti, that they're suffering and they're this and that. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Do you mean to tell me that any man in a Western world, surrounded by every comfort and security he can ever imagine or money can buy, is he in every moment contented, peaceful, without any jot of worry, anxiety, fear?
They're the most desperate. The people that have everything are the most desperate because they see they have everything and it doesn't work.
So what's the point in talking about Haiti being, they're suffering? They're happy. Haven't you noticed that people were under the rubble for 2 weeks and they come out laughing?
Well, I know there was one guy and he wasn't exactly starving because he had food down there and he had water.
There are many people too. Even keep a man who's well endowed with knowledge 2 days under a rubble and look at his state of mind. So, even in Haiti, it is a process of evolution. It's what's meant to be. Now look at it. Let's not conclude very quickly. Man concludes in his mind. Is not patient enough to watch. Now watch carefully how that How many countries will come to Haiti, develop that country, hospitals will be built, schools will be built, banks will come, industries will come, everything will happen for the better. For the construction to happen, there has to be a destruction. Even though we have come out in this developed world because there's much disaster to us happening much before. Reflect upon prehistoric times. It is a process of life. It's not
I understand that.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not any mind which brings about Haiti earthquake. It's not a mind which brings about an earthquake. If it's man as a doer, he should stop an earthquake happening. He can't. It'll happen. In many ways an earthquake will happen. Earthquake can be by a natural cause. Earthquake can also be because of bombardment. You can bomb a place and create an earthquake, can't you?
What happens with you when you see people suffering? Does it bring up feelings at all? Or?
When people suffer, I have any compassion, for they are not understood. They suffer in their mind, not in life. That's the understanding which has happened to them. Now there is no suffering in life at all. Suffering is just a thought in the mind.
But if you have pain, physical pain, that can be difficult, it's challenging.
Okay. Now you may be surprised to find out, in wars, people will be shooting bullets at each other. They may be facing bombs. There are soldiers whose legs get blown off. They don't have pain at that moment at all, unless somebody points out, hey, you lost your foot. And then pain grabs him. He may be even shot by a bullet. He won't feel the pain.
No, because he's in shock to start with. Afterwards you feel the pain.
After, but not instantly.
No, because you're in shock.
That pain too is a thought in mind. I will tell you something. I have seen ladies coming and giving birth to babies in villages, remote part of Africa, remote part of India, with no pain at all. At all. And I go a few miles away into the city or township where a thought is there in the head, oh, childbirth is very painful. She is in screaming of pain. So, pain too is a thought in the mind. Of course, these questions will be there. What to do about pain, physical pain, mental pain. Man doesn't understand physical and mental, and both are mental. You should go to the roots to find out where this all started. How did this auditory illusion of sound as pain came into man's mind? First and foremost, you've given me an opportunity. I'll tell you a question. First and foremost, man has to be clear in his mind if there is an action in life or not. If you allow me to explain to you how an action is not there in life, an action is merely an optical illusion, then I think an understanding will begin to happen to mankind. Because man is convinced life is filled with actions. Man is convinced that he has plenty to do every day, and yet he wants trust. It's not going to happen at all. Unless man is clear that an action is an optical illusion, and how it came about that an optical illusion has convinced man of a reality. If you're prepared to listen to me, I will explain it to you. If you're not, we go for the next question. Choice is yours.
No, the choice is yours. You do the explanation.
Wonderful. Okay. This may take some time, in inverted commas. Now listen. Man has done many lip service in scriptural places, in places of so-called spiritual settings. He accepts and he preaches that life is illusory, or rather, the world is illusory. And I'm sure you must have heard that too, undoubtedly.
I've heard it many times.
There you go. And you also must have observed, no one has explained to you why is it illusory. You just accepted it that it's an illusion, but you'll go outside the door and say, I got to drive my car, I got to go here. Hi, come on, everything is real to you. Everything is not illusion to you. Okay? Now let's listen carefully.